I'm Sierra and welcome to Watches with a Woman. I am here with an exciting watch and that is the Breitling Emergency. Now let's start here. What is this case? Like, look at this. Do you see? This is an entire pelican case in bright yellow for a watch that will help you be rescued from anywhere in the world. And that is exciting. So in order to open this case, you have to press into these little locks and lift the tabs. I feel like a flight attendant. And then inside, you have a beautiful travel case and the watch itself. So let's talk about this watch. So this is the world's first wristwatch with a personal locator beacon. And originally in 1995, Breitling came out with a watch with a micro transmitter for pilots or persons that were passengers of a plane crash. Now, this today has a rechargeable lithium battery with 2 months of charge. Whenever you go to charge the watch, it will do automatic checks to make sure that everything in the watch is functioning properly. So in order to activate your personal locating beacon, you will unscrew the antenna from the bottom right of the case. You unscrew, and this is about a 42 centimeter antenna. If you unscrew this, it will, for 48 hours, propel your signal out and get a rescue team to you. When you buy this watch, you have to sign a legal contract saying that if you use this inappropriately, you are going to be responsible for all of the fees and rescue costs that you cause. So that for any country is a minimum 5-figure fee, minimum $100,000 fee, plus all of the search and rescue costs. But if you really need it, it will come in handy. This watch comes in 3 colors: a bright yellow dial, a bright orange dial, and a black dial. For an emergency watch, I really like the bright colors, yellow and orange, because you're going to be able to locate the watch, find it, and the visibility adds an extra high-vis element that is quintessential to safety. In addition to this, it is an analog watch overall. It does have some numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. It does not have 12. Instead, it has a Breitling logo. But I really like that you can see the screens on this more. This has a chronometer that allows you to time things to 1/100th of a second. It has a dual time zone ability to allow you to see a second time zone. And it has an alarm capability. This watch retails between $16,200 and around $21,000. It depends on the watch, the variation, the strap versus bracelet, and everything else that goes into this watch. Now, this is a big watch. I mean, it is built for a purpose, but if you are wearing this, know that it is a statement, especially if you get the yellow or the orange. So it is 51 millimeters in diameter and 21.6 millimeters thick. Now, to give you a little bit of context, I love big watches. I have a Ploprof, an Omega Ploprof. It's a watch that I've done a video on. It is a watch that I've posted numerous times on my Instagram. And the Ploprof is 55 millimeters in the direction that the case goes up your arm. It is 48 millimeters across and 17.5 millimeters thick. Now this watch, being 51 millimeters in diameter, wears insanely big. The lugs hang off my wrist. My wrist, for reference, is about 6 inches. It is 21.6 millimeters thick. And again, 21.6 millimeters thick versus the Ploprof 17.5 millimeters thick, which is already giant. It's honestly, and I hate to say this because I'm a big proponent of big watches on little wrists, it is too big for me. I could not wear this. Now, I have put it on over the sleeves of shirts, seen if it works well. I even do that with the Ploprof, okay? But this watch, it's not built for me. If I was going to go on a mission where I really needed this as a safety feature, yes, I'm going to get this watch for the purpose with which it was built, but I'm not going to wear it as a fashion statement. I'm not going to wear it as an everyday tell your time or even a weekend watch. But that being said, my dad wears this watch and his wrist is larger than mine. And it looks fantastic on him, and it looks fantastic in dressier clothes. It looks fantastic in sporty clothes because he pulls it off as a fashion statement, as a statement of, as a tool. But for my little 6-inch wrist, I am so sorry. Anybody who wants this, it's too big. Now getting into a little bit more about the watch, because we're all here for that. And no matter how big your wrist is, we care about watches and their history. So this watch is 10 times more accurate than the standard quartz watch with its thermocompensated super quartz movement. In addition, it is glare-proof sapphire crystal, and it's glare-proof on both sides. And for a watch that's made for emergencies, it's made for situations that you're going into that may be dangerous, I think that is important. It's very legible. That being said, the hands do not have as much lume as I would think compared to something like a dive watch where the hands might be a bit blockier so you can see it more. I'm thinking more in terms of I'm going into a cave and I probably cannot legibly read this watch. But that being said, there is lume on a lot of the numerals of the watch, on a lot of the numerals on the dial, as well as the tip of the hour hand and the length of the minute hand. You will notice that this does not have a seconds hand, a traditional seconds hand sweeping around the dial. There is a function within the dial, within the digital display, to allow for a seconds display. Another fun thing about this watch is that while it looks insanely large, it is really light. This is a titanium watch, and this is partially for the weight, but also for some of the aspects of titanium, like the fact that it will not rust, that it allows it to be a fun tool watch that you can wear, and honestly, forget that you are wearing compared to a lot of watches. It is 140 grams if you do not include the strap or bracelet or whatever you have it on. It does have a bidirectional rotating bezel. And let me tell you, this bezel is so much fun to turn. It feels unreal. There are no clicks. It is the smoothest bezel that you will ever feel, both directions. It's like you're a person on a Zamboni gliding across the ice. At least that's how I imagine it, where it's just the smoothest. You are creating this really beautiful glossy surface. Like, it is really fun. Let me tell you. If my wrist was the appropriate size, this probably would be a comfortable watch to wear. The clasp itself does have the Breitling logo on it, as well as Breitling 1884, and it is a lift-pull tab that allows you to easily take the watch on and off. I would think that on a tool watch as such, it would have release buttons as an extra lock system, but I am not mad at this at all. And something that actually makes me incredibly happy is that there are 4 micro adjustments on the clasp. And this is really key because, as I always say, you need that for any wrists. All wrists are different sizes, and being able to take out a link, especially a link this big, is not going to allow it to tightly adjust to your wrist. So Breitling really nailed it with adding that aspect. The back of the watch, you will see when you are supposed to replace the lithium battery by, as well as the fact that it is an officially certified chronometer, manufactured in Switzerland, water resistant to 5 bars, and a minimum operating lifetime of 18 hours. Charge it every 2 months. Class 2-20/+55 degrees centigrade. The back of this watch says it will not float. Don't be fooled by its light titanium case. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you really enjoyed seeing this watch, whether or not it will fit you in your wrist. Thank you, and this is Watches with a Woman. See you next time.